From the XBTV studios at Santa Anita Racetrack in Arcadia, California, I am Jeff Siegel, and thanks for tuning in to our handicapping preview of the Baltimore Washington International Turf Cup at Pimlico. This is a Grade 3 event at a mile on turf at Old Hilltop on Saturday. Now, it is one of 4 stakes races on a tremendous program at Pimlico, and if you are planning on playing Pimlico at expressbet.com or on the First Bet app, you should take advantage of a really good and really neat promotion we have. Now, here's how it works. You can make a $10 wager on each of the 4 stakes races. If your horse wins, great, you win. Now, if you run second or third, we will give you your $10 back. Now, here's a little bit of a tip. The field size not very big on Saturday, so you should be able to get your horse home at least second or third to get your money back. But you know something? We don't want to get our money back. We want to win. And to do that, we need some help. And who better than extraordinary handicapper Eddie Olczyk? And Eddie, you looked at this race at Pimlico. How can we make some money, and how do we attack this race?
Well, Jeff, great to be with you. And I guess before I get into it here, I want to ask you a handicapping question, because you've been around the game a long time and you've picked your share of winners. So what's your thought on horses coming on and off the medication of Lasix in these stake races, as we see here in the Baltimore Washington International Turf Cup, which is going to be race 8 on Saturday? Like, what's your, do you use that into your handicapping at all? Because I think I get that question a lot from handicappers and even some newer people into the game.
Yeah, it's a very good question. And there's so many factors that involve handicapping a horse race. That's right. One of them. But I'm an old school guy, and I still assume that the horses are going to run just about what they normally run, unless there's clear evidence that one horse definitely needs it, or if I hear something about maybe the horse is a bleeder and something like that. But other than that, I mean, there are lots of things we got to consider. That's one of them, but it's not, for me anyway, a major factor. Now,
yeah, and I think for me, Jeff, I certainly look at it, and I think you made the perfect statement, and I think that's the thing that I look at is, how is a horse run since coming off of the medication? And I went right to the rail, and I saw Field Pass. I bet on Field Pass a boatload of times in his career, and running against obviously some great horses, and running in Grade 1s and Grade 2s. And now, is a horse just a little bit over his head, or is he coming back down into a Grade 2 and going, okay, he's off the medication, there isn't a lot of speed in the race. You assume Victor Carrasco is going to get Field Pass into the race, but to me, the horse hasn't run all that great since coming off of the Lasix. So for me, I went to the outside in Ramsey's Solution. I think that for Wesley Ward, I think that Ramsey's Solution has a chance to be very close to the pace. As I said, I don't think there's a lot of pace in this race. And the interesting thing with the 1 horse and the 6 horse, Jeff, is that they both ran against Set Piece, who won the Wise Dan. Field Pass ran in that race, was sitting second the whole way and just kind of spit the bit down the lane, finished 4th, beat 2 lengths. Now, for Set Piece, he ran against Ramsey Solution the race before on May the 29th in an overnight stake at Churchill Downs. The turf was a little bit off that day, but Ramsey Solution only got beat 4 lengths to Set Piece. He bypassed the Wise Dan. But I think Ramsey Solution has worked really well going into this race. I think going to be the better price over Field Pass. So I'm going to go with the outside horse and hope that Ramsey Solution can either follow Field Pass or maybe even get the jump on him as far as getting that first turn. So I'm going to go with the 6 horse Ramsey Solution, and hoping, Jeff, that I can get every bit of at least 3 or 4 to 1.
You make a very good point on Ramsey Solution for a couple of reasons. First of all, he's won 5 out of 10 races, so we know he's a racehorse. Second of all, he's won on the lead or he's won stalking, so he can do either way. And if Field Pass wants to go, Ramsey Solution can kind of sit off him. But if he doesn't go, why not hand Ramsey Solution the racetrack? And he's a pretty tough horse when he makes the lead. So your analysis of Ramsey Solution is spot on. And Field Pass, your point about him not racing on Lasix in his last 3 races, and all 3 of those races below standard, that is an interesting angle. I don't know if that's the reason why he's not running well. It could very well be. It's part of the game, and you have to almost assume that maybe it was something of a negative. So having said that, I really do like Ramsey's Solution because I think he's going to get that great trip. I think Pixelate's going to be tough to beat as well. Saw him out here when he won the Del Mar Derby. He's a quality horse. He's coming out of a nice winning race. So he's back in form. His numbers are good. First or second out of 11 out of 18 times. And he's going to be the best of the closers. So now it's just a question of how much how much help he's going to get up front. But, for a 6-horse field, Eddie, this race has some angles. It's not the slam dunk, and you really have to put your mind to it.
Yeah, and I agree with you with Pixelate, and I think that he will get first run on the other 3 in the race. And for me, with Field Pass, I think you hit it on the head. Is you look at the competition that he's been running against. I touched on a little bit earlier, but look, the last 3 races, Grade 2, the Wise Dan, the Man of War at Belmont, the Grade 1, and obviously the Maker's Mark Mile, a Grade 1 at Keeneland back in April. So facing the very best turf horses that we have in this country, and I would say a drop in class. Yes, literally in every aspect of dropping into a Grade 3, which has a very small field, but I think a very interesting for us handicappers, Jeff. So I think you've talked me into Pixelate, and I like Ramsey Solution. I'm going to leave Field Pass off the board, and I'm going to try to hook him up and play a 4-6 exacta box, but I'm going to press with Ramsey Solution on top and maybe turn a $20 investment, hopefully, into about maybe $85 or $90.
I'm going to do what you're going to do, but I'm going to put Pixelate slightly on top. But I think we're both going to try to beat Field Pass, and maybe he'll come back and beat us both. But that's the name of the game. Good race for just a 6-runner field. 4 stakes at Pimlico. So I'll be watching. I know you will too, Eddie. Thanks for joining us, and best of luck to you, and best of luck to all our horse players at ExpressBet.com and on the First Bet app.
Last of the 12.